Hi, everyone. It's time for Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 489, season 20. Today's date is November 9th, 2025, and welcome to the show. On today's program, I'm going to talk about a theater, a movie theater that was located on the west side of Chicago. I believe the West Garfield Park neighborhood or East Garfield Park. I'll correct myself later. It was called the Paradise Theater. That was located at 231 North Pulaski Road. That's near the Marlboro Theater, which I discussed that in an earlier podcast this year. So it's Paradise's turn for me to discuss. Also, I will read off a menu from 1964, a Howard Johnson's restaurant, Hojo. So this will be fun. They had several locations in Chicago. So I'll discuss its history and read the menu. So with the prices, of course. And this will be a lot of fun. Okay. Before I get started, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Frosted Rice Cereal, featuring Tony the Tiger Jr. I didn't know Tony the Tiger had a family. I don't know if he was married, so he has a son. Okay. So this commercial is from 1979. Okay. So sit back and relax. Let's go back to the late 1970s for Frosted Rice Cereal from Kellogg's. And I'll be right back with the rest of the show, folks. Thank you.
You can do it, Tony Jr.
Yeah, a perfect start. Round the poles.
Whoa!
A little more practice and I'll get it perfect.
Just like your frosted rice.
Yeah?
It's perfectly frosted.
Yeah?
So it's perfectly delicious.
Yeah!
Kellogg's Frosted Rice Cereal with vitamins and iron can be part of your good breakfast.
Perfectly delicious.
Want to go back up the hill again?
I'll give it another tumble.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Frosted Rice Cereal that featured Tony the Tiger Jr. This is from 1979. I remember this one very well. I remember the commercials, and he's like a junior version of Tony the Tiger. I don't remember him saying his father's trademark, his quote or yelling, "They're great." I don't know if he said that. I don't think so. This was introduced in 1977. Okay, and it featured him on the boxes. I've had this cereal when I was a kid, probably in high school. I asked my mom, "Can you buy this?" So we'll try it. Okay, you know what it is? It's Frosted Rice Krispies. In a way, it's to be honest, and that didn't last very long. That lasted about 5 years. In 1982, it was renamed Frosted Krispies. Makes sense. Features Snap, Crackle, and Pop. I believe it's still made. I'm not sure. I haven't paid close attention to it when I was at the stores. So it wasn't bad. The Frosted Rice, it was okay. I like Cocoa Krispies better because I have chocolate. And that was much better. And I think it's still made. I think it's under not other mascots or other animals. I think it's just Snap, Crackle, and Pop because they've been around forever. Rice Krispies is still good. I eat them occasionally, sometimes. Of course, my favorite is Rice Krispie Treats with the marshmallows. Oh, I love it. I don't like too much marshmallow because it's too sweet. I like a little bit. My mom makes that sometimes, and it's a good treat. The only problem is it's very sticky, and sometimes it sticks to the plate or a towel. Any hard time. One time I had one that stuck to a paper towel, and I had to take my fingers and take it out like that. It was a mess. Oh, well. What are you going to do? Okay. So that's it for Frosted Rice from Kellogg's. In the beginning of the program, I mentioned I'm going to talk about the Paradise Theater that was located. Let me get this right. Hold on a second, please. It was located West Garfield Park. Okay. The address was 231 North Pulaski. At the time when it was built, it was Crawford. Then they renamed Pulaski Road. You get the idea. And then I will read off a menu from 1964 from Howard Johnson's Restaurant. And they had several locations in the Chicagoland area. Before I get started, I'll mention a couple things. No doctor's appointment this week. For my health, nothing. Next Monday, I'll do a PET scan. We'll see what happens. And then I will see my urologist the 20th to start operating my sphincter. I think that's how you pronounce it, sphincter, yeah. I explained before, I had to get it done. I was leaking. It was a burden, excuse me. And hopefully no more diapers, no more leakage. Just go to pee like a normal human being. I can't wait. Yeah, so I had an interesting message from someone. I'm so busy. Sometimes I don't answer everyone's email message. I apologize. I'll do what I can. But there's this guy. I won't say his name. He sent me a message, and he had some pictures from Stratford Square in Bloomingdale. Excuse me. It's been torn down, but he had some photos. He asked me to post them. And I said, yeah, but I neglected to do that. So I did post them today. He also said, that, you shouldn't air out your, don't seek attention from your health, like that. And don't talk about it all the time. This is your page, this kind of person. I get that a lot from people. And he says, people don't care. Well, he's wrong. People do. They do care, because I'm honest, I'm open, it's very therapeutic for me to talk about it. I didn't talk about it first, not when I was diagnosed in 2019 in December, which will be 6 years next month. So I explained to him, I don't seek attention. I'm not a 16-year-old teenage girl. I'm a 62-year-old man. But I don't post every day. No, I don't want to do that. If something big happened, news like that, I'll post that, but people want to know how I'm feeling, how am I doing, because they're worried and they're concerned. I appreciate that, but to each his own. Some people don't want to talk about some other people do, excuse me. I do. So that's their problem. And I apologize to him for that, for not posting this stuff. But I hope he understands, Mostly it's men. They don't want to discuss it. That's how they are. They've been like that since the beginning of time. So, they don't want to discuss that because they feel like they're sissies. And it's wrong. It's not true. You have to do that. The only people you be honest is your doctor. If you go to a doctor, you do that. And I do that, because I want to know what's going on with me. I have to ask him, and he will tell me, because I had a long talk with my urologist, and he made me feel a lot better, because I told him about the PET scan, and he says, I think you'll be okay, because if they find something, or it's worse, we'll treat it. There are a lot of treatments. Not like in the old days. There are a lot. I have a lot of options. So that's good. Hopefully this will do it. So we'll see. So I will let you know what happens, in about a couple weeks. Okay? All right, let's get started. I'm going to talk about the Paradise Theater. Give you a little history of that right now. Okay. As I said before, this was located at 231 North Crawford Avenue, which is Pulaski Road. I don't know. I don't remember when they changed it. Probably late 60s, early 70s, something like that. You know what? That's a good podcast episode. I would discuss that. Of renaming streets. That would be cool. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so that was okay. Like I said, 231 North Crawford Avenue. It was near the intersection of Madison Street and Pulaski Road. That's like Maple Avenue, I believe. You know, you can go another block. It's West End, and then you get Washington. You get the idea. Okay. That was built and opened. Yeah, it was built. I'm sorry. It was built by Balaban and Katz. They owned a chain of movie theaters at the time. You may recognize their names from the call letters for WBKB that was on Channel 4, then Channel 2, and then moved to Channel 7. And Channel 2 renamed WBBM. So it opened on September 14, 1928, and it was promoted as one of the world's most beautiful theater. Interior and exterior. That may be true. Maybe it was. I wish I was there to see it. I would love to see that. And, excuse me. I talk about the Marlboro Theater that was nearby. That was a beautiful place, you know. And it wasn't as popular as the Marlboro. I mean, it looked beautiful, but it was like a second cousin to it. It was gorgeous. But it didn't attract a lot of people. It did, but not as much as the other theater nearby, you know, the Marlboro. And so they, you know, some people, maybe it depends what movie they were playing. You know, maybe they had a movie that was playing at the Paradise that didn't play at the Marlboro, so they went there. Or I don't know if it's the same. I doubt they played the same movie nearby. I don't think so. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense today, but you know, like within a couple blocks. So I don't know. I'm not sure. And it was home to the largest Wurlitzer theater organ, and that was removed in 1948. Okay, and then you know, I remember the Wurlitzer store, the Fort City Shopping Center. I took lessons briefly. My mom was mad about that because I quit because I wanted to do it. But, you know, I got bored after that. So anyway, then, it became less popular. And then it closed in 1956. Okay. Then it was demolished. I'm not sure exactly. Well, I'll let you know in a second when it was demolished. And, they tore it down, and then they sold it to a supermarket chain. Now, I don't know what supermarket was there. Maybe A&P, Hilo, maybe? I don't know if it's Jewel, Dominic's. I don't think it was around then. It didn't say which one, but I'm curious, you know, to find out what supermarket was there. And then... right now, and then that was vacant for a while. They tore that down, and then they built an auto parts store, I believe. Yeah, repair shop. Yeah, excuse me. It was an auto repair shop. I checked Google Maps. I didn't see anything, so maybe that's torn down. I don't know. You have to go out and see what's out there now. What is located there? No clue. I don't know. Okay. The music group Styx, had an album in 1981 called Paradise Theater. I remember this album when it came out. I was a senior in high school at Bogan. And, it was like, so Dennis DeYoung, the lead singer, chose this, probably named the album because of times changing. But he lives in the Roseland neighborhood where I lived at the time. But maybe he did go. I don't know if he went to the Paradise Theater. I doubt it. I don't know. I have to ask him. On the album cover, it says Paradise Theater, but it doesn't look like the Paradise Theater that was located on Crawford Avenue. It looked a little different, The album itself is very good. I like the songs, I remember one, Rockin' the Paradise and The Best of Times. It was great songs. He's a wonderful singer. I heard his wife's going through cancer. She has cancer and she's going through a rough time. And I commented on his page on Facebook and I said, I wish her well and she's in my prayers. Like that. Okay. So it was another great movie palace in the Chicagoland area. Of course, there was the Marlboro, there was Paradise, there was the Granada that was up north. I think I talked about that a long time ago. I might talk about it again. You have the Uptown Theater. I talked about that as well. Still there. They're trying to bring it back to life. It is very hard financially. I can understand that. A lot of movie palaces in the Loop are gone. Some have been renamed. I think the Oriental Theater is renamed. I forgot the name of it because I don't know. Because the Roosevelt's gone. Chicago Theater's still there. Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, what was the other one? United Artists. That's gone. Like that. So, someone sent me an email and says, why don't you talk about movie palaces in the Loop? I might do that. The ones I remember seeing, probably at night when all the marquees were lit up like that, which is kind of cool. Okay. We'll see about that. All right. That's it for the Paradise Theater. I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, I'm going to read a menu from 1964 from Howard Johnson's Restaurant and Hotel. Okay. This will be fun. So sit back and relax, and I'll be right back with the rest of the show, folks. Okay, just hang in there. Thank you.
When you're thinking Lincoln, better carpeting, well, let's call National 29000. National 29000.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed that break. Commercial break, that is. Okay. Right now, I'm going to talk about and read a menu from 1964 from Howard Johnson's Restaurant. It was a hotel chain. They were around many, many years, some in Chicago, all over the country. So I'll give a little history of this. It was founded by a man. His name was Howard Deering Johnson, born in February 2nd, 1897. Died June 20th, 1972. And he was an American businessman, and he founded that chain. It was not founded in Chicago. It was founded in Boston, I believe. So what started in 1925, he bought a small soda shop in Quincy, Massachusetts. And he enhanced the quality of ice cream from a recipe from a vendor. And he paid him for $300, and he doubled the butter fat of the product, and that's what made it great. You get the idea. Okay. So, and then it was just ice cream he was sold, and it was still selling at Howard Johnson's. And then later on, he expanded selling food items besides ice cream, like, for example, hamburgers, hot dogs. And then in 1929, he opened a second restaurant. And the menu became more broader, and they added more items. And then in 1935, he teamed up with another businessman. His name was Reginald Sprague. And they created the first modern restaurant franchise. You get the idea. Before McDonald's. And so then they created a logo, and then it's Hojo. And then it expanded very fast. And then they entered in the lodging industry, hotels, motels, and let's see. And then, so he just he branched out, and everything was fine. And then his family got involved, and they took over like that. Then he retired in 1959. That is Howard Johnson. And he left the company to his son, Howard Johnson Jr. And, he continued, he retired, then that was that. And there were, at the time, there were 28 ice cream flavors. Baskin Robbins at 31. So, okay, like that. And then they sold this family business in 1979, and they left the company in 1981, and it was taken over by other companies like that. Makes sense to me. Okay. Now, in the Chicagoland area, there were quite a few locations. For example, there was one. It was one at 8225 West Higgins Road. There was one there. There was, I don't know if there was a restaurant or a hotel. It was a 720 North LaSalle Street. I remember seeing that. That's been torn down. And I don't know if they were like on the tri-state. They were located at the Oasis. Maybe they were at the early days, So I think in the 60s, and we're there. I'm sure, but I'm not positive. So, and then they were replaced by other chains, like, for example, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Now the Oasis are gone. I think there's only a couple left on the tri-state. I think there's one, I'm not sure, up north somewhere, and somewhere south, probably South Holland. I'm not sure. I haven't been south in a long time. I'm driven down there. Also, there was another location, which I think a lot of people remembered very well. Excuse me, was 9333 Skokie Boulevard in Skokie. It was there I think it was there since the 50s. And a lot of people went there in the 50s and the 60s. They remembered the hotel. They remembered the food. The restaurant, they said, was very good. I think it was. And the restaurant was attached to the Howard Johnson's Motor Lodge. So that's what it was. Yeah. I don't know when it closed. Not sure. Maybe in the 80s? Probably. I don't know. I don't live in that area. I'm not familiar with it. And the building was demolished in April 2016. And now, according to the internet, it's right now it's just some new businesses. For example, Chick-fil-A. I told my friend yesterday that about the Maddie's Wayside Inn that was in Glenview, and they replaced it with a Culver's. So you get the idea. So it was replaced by Chick-fil-A, a Bank of America, and a AAA auto service, car auto service, like that. I'm not sure. I didn't look in the map. For myself, I never went there. I never went to a Howard Johnson's, not a hotel, not even the restaurant. I never had the opportunity to go, but I've heard it all throughout the years of this place. And it sounds like it was a piece of Americana back then. It was wonderful, that you would go on a road trip and stop by somewhere to get something to eat, for your wife and your kids, your entire family. And you would go to a place that it isn't dingy, greasy, not really, but, it's decent. It was a decent place to eat like that. Okay. So I have the menu from 1964. And it's very colorful like that. And my favorite is the dessert part. So I will read the prices. I promise I will do that. Okay, here we go. So on the first page, we have Howard Johnson's Seafood Specials, which I'm not a fan of. It had tender, sweet fried clams. And that was served with French fried potatoes, hush puppy, tartar sauce, crisp coleslaw. And that cost $1.35. Now remember, this is 1964. This is the prices. So those were the side dishes. So the other one was jumbo fresh fantail shrimp, $1.65. Succulent deep sea scallops, $1.45. Howard Johnson's Sea Dog. That was a heaping mound of tender, sweet, tangy fried clams in a toasted roll with tartar sauce, French fried potatoes, and creamy coleslaw. Not bad. And fried tender, sweet clam roll with tartar sauce, 65 cents. So the Sea Dog was 90 cents. The clam roll was 65 cents. Okay. Here we go. Let me get over here. Sandwiches. They had, charboiled quarter-pound hamburgers on toasted butter bun, served with potato chips, dill pickle, wedge. That cost 65 cents. With melted cheese and potato chips, 75 cents. with baked beans and coleslaw, 85 cents. With french fried onion rings or potatoes with coleslaw, 85 cents. Excuse me. And with cottage cheese and tomato coleslaw, 85 cents. Grilled in butter Frankfurt on a toasted roll with chopped onions and coleslaw and potato chips. That was 30 cents. That was the Frankfurter. But with those sides, you had an extra dime. So it's 40 cents. Okay. Bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, BLT, 55 cents. Grilled cheddar cheese, sandwich, 35 cents. Baked ham piled high on our own butter bun, 60 cents. Bacon and egg, 50 cents. Western, I don't know, maybe that's an omelet. I'm not sure. But it says Western, 55 cents. Yeah, we'll see about that. Sliced breast of turkey, 85 cents. Junior hamburger on toasted bun, 40 cents. With melted cheese, 55 cents. Triple decker sandwich, that's roast turkey, grilled bacon, sliced tomato, crisp lettuce on toast, potato chips, $1.25. So that's a club sandwich. Okay. Open steak sandwich, charboiled, tender and juicy steak, french fried potatoes, or cottage cheese and tomato, $1.65. I don't know if they ask you how you want it done. Maybe, I don't know. Barbecue beef on toasted bun, 55 cents. Hot roast turkey, combined cornbread dressing. Ooh, I love cornbread. Giblet gravy. I'm crazy about that. French fried potato, cranberry sauce, $1.25. Thanksgiving. That sounds good. I can't wait for Thanksgiving. That's one of my favorite. One of my favorite holidays. I just love it. Hot roast beef, brown gravy, French fried potatoes, lettuce, and tomato garnish, $1.15. The hot roast turkey was $1.25. Okay. Side orders, French fried onion rings, 35 cents. French fried potatoes, 25 cents. Pot of baked beans with brown bread, 45 cents. Fried clams with tartar sauce, 65 cents. Our nationally famous 3D, I don't know what that is, but it says here, it's sesame seed bun with 2 choice beef patties, melted cheese, chopped lettuce, special dressing, 55 cents. And with French fried potatoes and coleslaw, that costs 89 cents. Okay. Now, here's Howard Johnson's specialties. Tangy, sizzling Welsh rabbit. Some people like that. They do. Toast points, crisp bacon, tomato and lettuce garnish, $1.10. Grilled in butter Frankfurts, probably hot dogs. Boston baked beans, new cabbage slaw, and steamed brown bread, 90 cents. Italian spaghetti, savory meat sauce, Parmesan cheese, garlic toast, 85 cents. Okay, I'll get to the beverages later. Okay. Well, no, I'll do them now. Beverages, they had pot hot coffee, tea, Postum. They still sell that. Postum. I saw it in the grocery store. Or Senka, 15 cents. Hot chocolate, 15 cents. Made with hot milk, 25 cents. Oh, okay, I get it. A cup of coffee is $0.10. Milk is 15 cents. Buttermilk, 10 cents. Iced tea, 10 cents. Iced coffee, 15 cents. Fresh limeade or orangeade, 20 cents. With sugar float, 30 cents. Root beer, small is 10 cents. Large is 15. With ice cream, it's 30 cents. And they sold baby food there. Strained baby food, 25 cents. I don't know if they bought baby food there. That's unusual. That's like if you're on the road and you have an infant or a baby. And the baby gets hungry. Well, there's 2 ways to get that. But I'm not going to mention it. Okay. Now we go to the desserts. Now they had Howard Johnson's hot fudge or butterscotch ice cream shortcake. That cost 40 cents. And from the picture of it, it looks absolutely divine. It looks so good. Okay. The other one they have highlighted was strawberry ice cream shortcake. Vanilla ice cream on golden sponge cake with luscious red strawberries and mountain of whipped cream, 60 cents. The other one was 40 cents. This is 60 cents. I love strawberry shortcake. I really do. I love it. It's so good. Okay, here's my favorite part of the menu. We have desserts. We have Southern pecan pie, 35 cents. That's probably a slice. Jell-O with whipped cream or ice cream, 25 cents. Angel cake with ice cream and hot fudge sauce, 45 cents. Chocolate brownie, 25 cents. With ice cream, 40 cents. Ice cream pie with whipped cream, 40 cents. I had French soak at the restaurant. Oh, that was so good. Delicious. Our famous hot apple pie, 25 cents with ice, and that was 25 cents, excuse me. With ice cream is 40 cents. Danish pastry, 25 cents. And Swiss chocolate pie with whipped cream, 35 cents. Fresh coconut or chocolate fudge cake, 25 cents. I love coconut. Ooh. And with that, and served with ice cream, that's 40 cents. So that was 25 cents and 40 cents. Okay. That was fun. Oh, everything sounded delicious. It sounded wonderful. That is cool. Okay, so it's a shame. Like I said before, it's a shame I never visited the restaurant or the hotel. So last I heard, there's one left somewhere, but it closed about a couple of years ago out in the East Coast, somewhere like that. Okay, so that is it for this podcast. I'll do a recap of what I've talked about. I talked about the Paradise Theater that was located at 231 North Crawford Street, later Pulaski Road. It was in the West Garfield neighborhood of Chicago. And I read a 1964 menu from Howard Johnson's restaurant and hotel chain. They had several locations in the Chicagoland area. This podcast will be published later on today, wherever podcasts are found and available. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Breaker, Overcast, Good Pods, Podbean. If you have those on your phone or your tablet, tap on them, tap follow. You receive a notification of the latest episode. They're all listed there. It will also be on my blog, www.vanishchicagoland.blog. They'll have a link. You can go to the website, click on the link. You can listen to any device you like. Also on CarPlay, if you have it in your car. Or you can stream Spotify or YouTube, on your TV set. You can listen. I'll get to YouTube in a second. Also, it'll be on my YouTube channel. And again and again and again, people always ask me, where do I find your podcast? I want to listen to your podcast. I am fascinated. I am intrigued to listen to your podcast. You can find it on YouTube. This is the easiest way for most people to listen. Go to YouTube, do a search, type in Vanishing Chicagoland Stories, or my name, Pete Costanis. You will find it. Click subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. You'll receive notifications of the latest episodes. You can listen to previous episodes if you like. Also, be sure that my social media accounts, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Reddit, Threads, Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok. Yeah. Okay. I will probably do another podcast episode Tuesday. I think so. I have nothing planned, this week. So I think it'll be okay. Alrighty. So this is Pete Costanis, your host of Vanishing Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. Today's Sunday. There's flurries outside. From what I understand, we might get some snow tonight through Monday. People are worried. It's lake effect snow, so I don't know how much we're going to get. We're not that far from the lake, not really. But I hope everyone be careful. Be careful. Today the Bears are playing, so just relax. Don't vent or go get overexcited. Just be patient. Just be patient and just enjoy it. Please enjoy it. Okay. So here's bye-bye for me, and here's a little traveling music from our favorite person in the whole wide world, the legendary Chicago legendary man, Ray Rayner, saying bye, bye, bye. Take care, everyone, and have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.